now want to invite Brian from Nabooki up to the podium. The Nabooki online booking platform is a comprehensive and flexible business management tool built for small business. It helps manage availability, capture and manage customer information, make complex bookings and take payments all in one interface that is published on their website and other channels, all without commissions. Welcome.
Thank you all. I won't go for too long because I'm sure everybody's getting presentation fatigue at this stage. So first of all, I want to thank you all for staying. And I better set the scene first of all. I only found out about this 24 hours ago, so please let me wing this correctly because 8 hours of that was spent sleeping. 1 hour of that was spent refereeing 2 kids killing each other going to school this morning. 30 minutes of that was actually chasing 2 dogs around the house trying to get them outside. And then 3 hours driving here. So let's see how I go. First of all, I just want to point out, so I just happened to be here when Meredith was giving her presentation. I would urge anybody that hasn't spoken to Meredith to actually speak to her. I've been around the booking and marketplace industry and the tech industry for most of my career, and one thing I have, which is really, really important, is actually getting the right tech stack together for your business, regardless of what industry you're in. And Meredith mentioned a few things around the 80-20 rule. And that's really, really important. It's, it's fundamental, especially in the tourism industry. And when it comes to events and tours and those kind of things, it's really important to actually have the right tech stack for your business to ensure that you're using the right tech, you're getting what you want out of your tech, and you've got the right engagement with your tech supplier. Nabooki we're a Queensland-based business. We've been around just over 10 years. We've been involved in the tourism activity space for that whole time. To give you a bit of background, our actual booking solution grew out of Groupon. In the early days, Groupon didn't actually have a booking system, and I'm sure you all remember when you used to print off a docket, go into a restaurant or go into an activity centre, and you see the Groupon certificate, and it's like, oh, you're Groupon, okay, you go to the back of that queue. But then and that became a big problem for Groupon. We went to Groupon to sell them a completely different product, and they said, no, well, you're actually trying to compete with us. But we do love your booking system. So we ended up working with Groupon, and because of the work we did with Groupon, white labelling the booking solution, we actually ended up going across all different industries. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we didn't niche, but we went quite broad, which gave us a very complex booking system, which actually sits, so we have a complex booking system, which is 80% of our technology, and then on top of that, we have a platform play, which actually we do white label marketplace software. Our specialities sits within activities, experiences and tours, ticketing. We do workshops, classes, recreation. So there's a really broad spectrum of what we can cater for. So I guess why Nabooki? You probably, if you're in the tours and activity space, you probably notice, it's quite a fragmented market. There's a lot of different booking engines out there, and as I said at the start, it's about getting the booking solution that actually suits your business. For us, you've got the reason for having a booking system, you've got 24/7 access. Your consumers can book you at any time of the day, night, and it goes through. There's none of this having to call up, make the booking, do it all behind the scenes. We actually, within our system, we have a full CRM system. So rather than having an additional technology stack to manage your CRM, it's all inbuilt. You also have the ability, we integrate with multiple payment systems. So instead of us dictating what you want to have as your payment solution, you bring your payment solution along. We integrate with the majority of payment solutions out there. And if you have something that's bespoke, it's generally quite easy for us to adapt to the technology. The customer experience is probably, in my view, one of the most important components of any booking system. The easier you make it for your consumer, the easier the consumer is going to follow through. bit about my background. My background going back years is actually in the payments industry. It was PayPal, and we always fought for in that space to make sure that we got the easiest payment. And the people that actually got down, and actually PayPal now is a one-click payment. When I was there, we started at six clicks, but we got it down to 3 clicks. That 3 clicks actually increased our revenue tenfold. So so the consumer experience in your tech stack is really, really important. I obviously didn't write this slide because this will give me a heart attack with the amount of words that are on it. But just in terms of the features and of what we offer, okay, the products we offer are very, very feature rich. If anyone wants to go into detail in terms of features, I could pretty much stand here all day and go through the various features and components. I think Meredith actually had a great slide where she had 80% on one side and 20% on the other side. That is actually, that's to me, is actually probably sums this up. We don't have everything on the 20% side, and nor does any booking solution in market. I can promise you that now. However, we do have quite a lot. Josh from ResPaks actually mentioned a number of things which were quite impressive in terms of what ResPaks do, and similarly we have a lot of all this bespoke software. Coming back to consumer experience, okay, so in the slides Meredith was showing, she said, making it easy for the consumer. This is actually a screenshot of a complete booking of an activity. So onto your website, you click in, and it all happens within your site. You just go through, the bookings made, payments made. You have the ability then to, as a vendor, you have the ability to control everything within the booking system. So anything from email reminders, SMS reminders, that's all within it. It's the communication flow you can control. If you want to set different parameters within your booking system for different people within your business, you have that option. So you may want to have oversight of everything within your booking system, whereas you have staff members that you want to have managing various components, but you don't want them to see payments, you don't want them to see certain things, you don't want them the ability to change certain things. Well, that's all within the system. To talk about other components of our booking technology and what we do. So, as I said, 80% of our technology is a booking engine. Very broad, covers the vast amount of what's required within the tourism industry. On top of that, we provide white-labelled marketplace solutions or platform solutions. So, to give you an example, the post-COVID, the tourism industry, as we all know, was pretty much damaged and required a lot of assistance. And Australia was, some people would say, wasn't great in how they went about it. But personally, I feel it was very proactive in how it was addressed. But a lot of states offered voucher programs, or they offered some certain types of stimulus to help get the tourism industry back in play. What was important about this, and there was various learnings that we have seen across Australia in this, is different states ran this different ways. And one of the biggest learnings that I had was that, and actually South Australia were probably one of the most innovative in this area, is providing a platform that actually addressed the small business, all right, not the big vendors. So what we did there with South Australia was, the South Australia government had ran 2 programs through vouchers, and they weren't too successful, didn't get the data they wanted, and it was difficult to manage. We were asked to have a look at it and do 1 additional program. 9 additional programs later, we were still working with them. We still are working with them today. We're doing disaster recovery with them and various different things, and with other states also. But the end result was that through our technology and through the booking technology, we were able to actually see and provide government with the data to show them who was actually receiving the money that they were putting into that they were funding. So they could see that the small businesses were getting the money, the small businesses were feeding back and saying how it was helping them. So it's really, really important for the likes of our local government and the likes of our state governments to be able to provide platforms that serve small businesses in Australia. Because when you think about the user experience, when you book your hotel or you book your flight, the first place you're going to go is, say, Tourism Australia or Tourism Queensland. You're going to go to one of these tourism sites which gets the most traffic. You will go there, you will look for your activity or what you want to do. You will click on that, and all of a sudden, you're out. You're onto a multinational site that's going to, or local site that's going to take commissions. And that's generally in the range of 30%, and that's 30% of your revenue. That shouldn't be the case. We are a commission-free model, and when we work with government, we always make sure it's commission-free. Government prefer not to have commissions from what we've seen. So to be able to for us to work with government and to be able to offer a booking solution, our booking solutions are commission-free. Even when we work on platforms, they are commission-free. And it just keeps the money within the economy. It does make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and make sure the small business always wins. I don't know, can we do one more slide? So in terms of pricing, we have an offer for anyone that's any of the participants with the QTIC. It really depends on your business model. These are some set prices, which include the full setup, everything you get. We have concierge onboarding. All your customer support is based here in Queensland. We have offices in Queensland, Sydney, and Adelaide. So we cover the entire nation. So we'd love to speak to you more. One thing I will say is we're a very, very transparent business. We will be very honest with you on whether our technology will suit your business and will integrate with your tech stack. So it's not in our interest to sell you something that's going to be a headache for us and our team. And we have a small customer support team, and the reason it's a small customer support team is because we are transparent, and we generally don't have a lot of issues that need to be solved. And that concierge onboarding, as I said, is a very important part of onboarding a client. And as I said, I'll repeat it one last time, what Meredith did say and what she did show on her slides. If you actually can get access to those slides, I don't know if they're going to be shared, but there is some absolute gold in what she presented. Thank you. I hope we winged that.